At Shalom, we had the Hebrew Israelites coming out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked society and wicked kingdom. And the main job being to teach the true children of Israel who they are according to the Bible, predominantly the so-called black, Hispanic, Native American man, woman, and child. Without further ado, we're going to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. So if we start with Revelation 17, and just start from the top. The early audio now is coming through the mic, isn't it?
Nah, it comes through both. It's Revelation 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Right, so it says he's going to show the judgment of the great whore that sits upon many waters. The judgment, obviously, being the punishment. And who is the great whore? The great whore is America, right? That's the great whore who's been in bed with every nation, done dirty deals with every nation, right? Kind of gets in, she's nasty, she gets into bed with everybody. All she cares about is money like a whore, right? And it says that she sits upon many waters, right? Because she's dealing with everybody's business. Like, I think it was last year or the year before, Joe Biden tried to put a sanction on Uganda because they wanted to make it a crime to be gay in Uganda. Or something like that. They want to arrest people. And here it is, America's trying to put sanctions on them for how they want to run their country. So she's sitting upon many waters. She's not just staying at home. In fact, go to Habakkuk chapter 2, right quick.
What was that?
Habakkuk. It's one of the minor prophets. So
The one, yeah?
chapter 2. Start verse 5. I'll just get that with you. Hold on. Start verse 4.
Alright, this is Habakkuk 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
Right, so it says his soul, talking about Esau, the Edomites, predominantly the so-called white people, says that his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. They just don't have upright souls. That's why they just are inherently evil. That's why, if I jump, right, we'll come back to this, but jump to Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. This is why they just do nothing but evil. It's just the way that he made them, right? He just made them to be evil.
This is Daniel, chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly.
The wicked shall do what?
The wicked shall do wickedly,
right?
And none of the wicked shall understand.
He said,
but the wise shall understand.
He said the wicked shall do wickedly. Right, so the wicked shall do wickedly. That's hold on, I got the scripture. The wicked shall do wickedly. That's all they're going to do. It's wickedness. Wait a second, I'm in. So the wicked, that's what they were made to do. So the wicked shall do wickedly. That's all they're going to do. Right, so that's why it says his soul, which is lifted up in him, is not upright. I wonder what these do. Yeah, just makes the. Right, because that's what they're made to do, wickedness. Like this is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So he's even made the wicked for the day of evil. He made the wicked to be wicked. He made them to do that. That's their job. That's the way he created them, right? So go back to Habakkuk chapter 2.
Habakkuk 2, verse 5. Ye also, because has transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man.
Right. When it says transgress by wine, it means that he gets people drunk, right? When you're drunk, you're inebriated, your judgment is skewed, and you don't think straight, right? So he gets other people drunk with his false doctrines, false philosophies, Big Bang theories, evolution theories, right? Everybody's equal, God's a white man, all of that sort of stuff. He gets people drunk with that, so they're not thinking straight, they're not thinking truthfully, right? It says he's a proud man, and he is a proud man. Name someone who's more prideful than them, right? Great Britain, God bless America, all these things. Who's prouder than them, right? Read on.
He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
Right, neither keepeth at home. This is the point. The whore that sitteth upon many waters, right? He doesn't keep at home. He doesn't stay in his place, right? He was given Mount Seir. That was his inheritance, right? That's what the Lord gave everybody their inheritance, their own place. He gave Japheth, Europe, and the Greek Isles, right? He gave Ham, the land of Ham, right? Obviously, he gave Yasharallah, Israel, the land of Israel, right? He gave the Babylonians their place. He gave Esau Mount Seir. That was his place, but he doesn't stay at home. He's gone everywhere else in the world, everywhere, just stealing, changing his identity, right? It tells you that in the book of Job. Can't remember which chapter. But he goes everywhere stealing people's identities, changing his name. He doesn't stay at home. He goes to other lands. He conquers every place in the world. That's why he just can't stay at home. That's why he felt the need. The British Empire was the biggest empire in the world. They called it the empire where the sun never set because they had a nation. They had so many places around the world that the sun was always up on that empire. There was never like night time. There was night time, but you know what I mean. Like the sun was never down. Like there was always somewhere on their empire that had sunshine, right? Because they can't stay at home. In fact, just jump right quick to Genesis chapter 4, verse 12.
Genesis 4:12. When thou tiltest the ground, he shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
Right, a fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. Right, saying that he's going to be a fugitive, as in someone who's always on the run. Right, someone who's on the run. That's what he is. He's always on the run. He's always got every couple hundred years. He's got to change his name. Got to change his place. He's always on the run. Right, and a vagabond. That's someone who's always on the move. He doesn't have a home. Doesn't have anywhere to settle. Right, and that's what they are. That's why they go around the whole world, conquering places, stealing other people's names. Let me find that one in Job that I want. Right, but that's why they do that. That's why they can't stay at home. They have to conquer everybody else. It's going to be a hard one to find this. Job. What was that? 23. Yeah, here we go. Job chapter 24, verse 15. The eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguise of his face, right? So obviously it's saying that they wait for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me. They do all their work in darkness, right? That's why you have to do research to find out that the so-called Wishman, the small hat people, the Amalekites, you have to do research to find out that they're behind every major conspiracy, right? It's not out in the open. It's something you have to do research to find, right? Or just like when Esau does something, there's always something else behind it. Like when the Clinton Foundation went to Haiti with, I think it was like millions of dollars and built, what was it, like 6 houses. There's something behind that you have to do research to find, right? Because they do everything in darkness, right? But it says, no eye shall see me, and disguise of his face. He's always disguising his face, stealing other people's heritage, right? Always stealing other people's heritage. In fact, grab Micah chapter 2, I think. Micah chapter 2. Yeah. Micah chapter 2 and just start at the top.
This is Micah chapter 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
Right, so they go to bed thinking of evil, how they can steal this next land, how they can steal this next nationality, how they can increase their wealth by ungodly means. I'm not just turning that off like that. That button on the other side. Not that button.
No, it's still on, but don't click there. Yeah. That's the off button.
Yeah, so they think of how they can increase their riches by ungodly means, by wicked means, things like this, right? So they work that up on their bed. Huh?
Oh, that one.
Yeah, okay. So they work that iniquity upon their beds, right? And then when it's light, when the morning comes, they practice it, meaning that it's basically going into their constant meditation is wickedness, doing evil, thinking of the next evil thing they can do, right? And then they actually do it. They go ahead and do it. But it said, what did it say at the last part of that verse?
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Right, because they're able to do it, they can do it. Right, it's in our power right now to jump over the till and steal all the money from that McDonald's, but we don't do it. But it's in the power of their hands, so they say, just because we can do it, let's just do it, right? Let's just get to it. That's the way that they think, right? Read verse 2.
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away.
Right, hold on. So they covet fields, right? Covet is to desire someone else's possessions. They covet fields, and they covet other people's lands, and they covet houses, right? They try and take other people's houses too, right? And basically going into the deeper, it's poetic speak, it's going into this, they want other people's habitations, right? They want their heritage, their nationality. They covet everybody else's things. That's why the British Museum is full of what? Other people's things, right? The British Museum is full of artifacts from all around the world, you know, and there's a plaque saying how important it is to their people, but they won't give it back, right? Because they covet other people's stuff, right? Read on.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Even a man and his what?
And his heritage.
Even a man and his heritage, right? They'll even oppress the heritage, right? That's why Japheth was in Greece or in Europe. They went and took Europe from Japheth, and now they pretend that they were Japheth, and that was them back then, right? They even take our heritage, right, and oppress our heritage. They take everybody else's heritage because they don't have anything, right? They just had Mount Seir living in the caves, cave people, which we're going to get into later. We'll go to the classic Job chapter 30, Malachi chapter 1 and everything, but we'll go into that later. But let's go back to Habakkuk and just read them. Is it, yeah? Oh, yeah.
Habakkuk 2.
2 and 5. Excuse me. Believe in the Bible.
I believe the Bible is false. I believe when you call the Father, only the Father, it's a sin. I believe you have to call the Creator both. And if you don't, I believe Christianity makes you worship God.
Hey,
we're not Christians. We're not Christians.
Yeah, bro, come here. Christianity and the Bible is a separate thing, right? Yeah. Christianity use the Bible to perpetuate their lies. You can agree with that, right? They'll take the Bible and they'll perpetuate lies from it. They'll take verses out of context, say it's saying this, but it's not. Say it's saying that, but it's not. What we do is we read the Bible based on basically purely what it says. We don't take Christian doctrines, right? Like just believe in Jesus. You know, the thing that I hate most about Christianity is there's no law, there's no structure. You can do whatever you please, just believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
But the Bible doesn't teach us that. No. The Bible actually tells us that we have to follow God's laws and be in order according to what He says. What's right and wrong. That's why we have the Torah.
Right. So I follow kaleidoscope. And that is a theory that I believe that all religions prior were and that we have to build something new because there were certain mistakes in the prior ones that led to ignorance.
Right.
And that is causing the earth's destruction today. And so until we do that, and the Bible doesn't stop. So it wasn't just those people that we focus on, that they keep us focused on stories to keep certain people with certain family lines tied and connected. And so
it is booked out. It's booked out big
time.
Out,
bro. Sad that.
It is.
Sadness.
That is sad because, bro, like, he's almost on the mark.
Yeah,
then he's got some weird.
He could be wise, but he's a bit loopy, man.
You can see it in his eyes. There's something going on with him.
He's had a hard life.
Yeah, you can tell. You can definitely tell. Yeah, hey, stop resting on it. Is that the same one? I see him every time. Possibly. I'm sure that's the same guy every time.
Probably, bro.
But yeah, we'll go back to that Habakkuk 2 and 5.
This Habakkuk 2 and 5. We've read that one. Oh, no. I'll start again. Yeah, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges desire as hell, and is as death.
Right, because they enlarge their desire as hell, right? They have an insatiable thirst. They can't be satisfied. They always want more. Look at billionaires now making moves to make more billions, bro. If you hit a billion, like, you've already made it. You don't need more, right? Even a million is a crazy number for a human to have, right? A crazy amount of money. That's definitely gonna have a psychological effect on you. But it says that he is as death, right? Because everywhere they go is death, right? Wherever you see Esau has been, it's always death. People being killed, slaughtered, wars, right? And that's why his blessing in Genesis, his blessing was to live by the sword, because he lives by his sword. That's what he does, right? That's how he lives. He's a violent man. Right, read on.
And cannot be satisfied.
Cannot be satisfied, right? He has an insatiable thirst, right? Can't get enough.
But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Right, that's why you have these policies, right? You go to Arabia, it's just full of Arabs. You go to China, it's just full of Chinese people, right? But you come to England, America, Europe, it's all people. It's a melting pot, right? Leeds is a melting pot because Esau, the proud Edomite, gathers all people to himself, right? You go to all these other nations, you're just going to find like a small minority of other people, but the majority is one people. Arabia is for the Arabs, right? A lot of Africa is for the Hamites, right? China is for the Moabites, Japan for the Ammonites. But wherever you go to Esau's lands, it's cities full of diverse cultures and people. He heaps all people to himself. This is the same man in Habakkuk, right? This is that proud man. But we'll go back to carry on in Habakkuk actually. More.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that laddeth himself with thick clay.
Right, so are all these people that he's oppressing, are they not eventually going to have enough? Right, this is what we're going to get into in Revelation 18. Are they not going to have enough one time? Eventually going to have enough of it, right? And they're going to say, Woe to him which is destruction, right? To him that increases that which is not his. They're not going to be sick of being robbed, right? Lied to, Of course they are. So eventually, what they're going to do, they're going to turn on America, which is what we're seeing taking place on the earth today. You read on?
You know, shall there not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them.
Right. So are they not suddenly going to rise up against him? Right. It said that when America gets destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, it's going to be. It says in Revelation, it's going to be 1 hour is the judgment going to come. It's going to be 60 minutes, and it's all going to be done. Right. And then Russia will have the short rulership, and then Christ will come and fight the nations. But it's saying that America is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes, in an hour. Right. They're going to rise up suddenly. Right. When it says lay booties, it means they're going to rob him, they're going to spoil him. Right. Because Russia is going to take that rulership from him. Right, and all the other nations are gonna. It's gonna be a global reset economically, and then everyone else is gonna have the riches. Then obviously, Christ is gonna fight against the nations. But read on.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwelleth therein.
Right, so it's saying that because of all the people that you kill, because of men's blood, right, and because you've spoiled many nations, you've stolen from many nations, all the remnant of those people are gonna spoil you, right, and they're gonna give you violence and give you, cause your men's blood to shed. Right, that's what the other nations are going to do because they're going to be sick of this, right? And that's what's coming really soon. The yellow. Oh, yeah. That's what you're saying about the city, though. It's way more like you dress however you want. That comes in turn. You see a lot of some dresses and shit. Yeah, we'll go back to Revelation 17. No, I don't think it's any more. It was only on verse 1, wasn't it?
Yeah. Revelation 17 and 2. With whom kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. We read that.
Right. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, right? All the kings of the earth have gotten into bed with America. They all have deals with America, right? That's what it's saying when it's saying fornication. Yo, my man just flew right through the red light. It's saying, yeah. I wasn't green then, that was red. Oh. Yeah, it's always hard. It just flew right through that red light. Yeah, so they committed fornication. They've got every nation has gotten into bed with America. They all have dirty deals with America, dirty agreements with America, right? They all have different smuggling, right? They do a lot of smuggling with America, and then a lot of business deals, right? America has to have the hands in everyone's business, right? That's like I say, the whore that sits upon many waters, and but that's the case. That's how America is, right? And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of their fornication, right? Everyone on the earth, nobody knows anything. You don't know who the Israelites are. Don't know who the Edomites are. Don't know what the truth is, right? We had a brother there. He was drunk. He was drunk as hell. The brother just walked past with the wine of her fornication, right? A theory that Esau has perpetuated, right? So that's the thing. Everyone is drunk from America's philosophies and ideologies, and false teachings and lies because of the lies that she perpetuates, right? And now it's our time. It's high time to wake from sleep. What's that one? It's in Romans. We'll grab that. Read on.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right, so it's a woman, that's America, likened to the woman, the great whore, sat on a scarlet-coloured beast. What's the scarlet-coloured beast? That's the system, right? The beast is the system, right? The system that the world is run by, America's system. The reason it's scarlet-coloured is because scarlet is red, Esau is red.
Excuse me, Auntie. You believe in the Bible?